Hello, it's me again, Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome, my lovely Fonto student in a biology session. And we are currently proceeding with the solving of the series of the Necta question for the Necta 2019. Welcome. Today's question is question number 8 for the year 2019. And the question states that Roman A, draw a well-labeled diagram of a fenny plant and label 4 parts. Draw a well-labeled diagram of a fenny plant and label 4 parts. And Roman B, explain 3 advantages of a fenny plant. Explain 3 advantages of a fenny plant. My lovely Fonto students, it is very interesting that this topic is one of your topic in your level of the Fonto. It has been derived from that topic of the classification of the living things, where in your class you discuss on the two kingdom in your level form 2, the kingdom fungi and the kingdom plantae. So this fenny plant has been derived from the members of the kingdom plantae in that division Felicynophyta. Also, now you are needed to describe. You can't draw without knowing on how the structure of the fenny looks like. You have to be aware on how you can describe the characteristic of the fern plants or members of the division Felicynophyta on how they look like. Now you can give a diagram. After that, now you are needed also to be aware on the economic importance of the members of division Felicynophyta, especially the fern, as one of the representative members within the division Felicynophyta. Once you talk on the economic advantage, this means that economic importance, this means that the advantages and disadvantages. Anything that have an advantage, there is also the disadvantages. So now welcome to see on how this question can be answered. But before we answer the question Roman 1, now let us familiarize ourselves with the division Felicynophyta that belong within the kingdom plantae. As we talk on the division Felicynophyta, this division includes the group of primitive vascular plants. Once we talk on the primitive, meaning that they tend to have the xylem and the phloem as vascular tissue, but they are not well developed as those of these advanced plants like flowering plants. You see them once you are in Form 3 level in your topic of the classification of the living things, where you are going to discuss the remaining the phylum of the kingdom plantae that you have discussed. In your level, you discuss on the bryophyta as well as the Felicynophyta. While when you be in Form 3, you will discuss on the phylum Coniferophyta as well as the Angiospermophyta. You're mostly welcome because you are going to get a lot and detailed understanding pertaining the topic of the classification. It's one of very important topic. You have to master it and you will learn it until you will be in the university level. So the adult plant body in this plant is sporophyte. So this plant, the major characteristics as we have discussed in our topic of the classification of the living things here at Educare Media, that this plant they tend to undergo the alternation of the generation, meaning that there is an alternation of the life cycle between the sexual and asexual phase, where the matured one is the sporophyte, which is made up of the diploid gamete, which has been formed by the combination of the gamete which has been produced at the gametophyte phase, the achogonium as well as the antheridium. So it shows differentiation into true root, stem, and the leaves. This plant or this fenny plant as a representative member in the division Felicynophyta, they tend somehow to have the true root, shoot, and the leaves, not as compared to those members of the kingdom fungi. Example moss, they do not have the true root, shoot, as well as the leaves. Also, the stem is mostly herbaceous, leaves may be smaller or large. The stem of this fenny plant or the member of all plants within the division Felicynophyta, the stem tend to be of the herbaceous or soft one. Also, their leaf can be either small or large. Also, the vascular tissue are present in all vegetative part of the plant's body. Vegetative part, these are the part like root, stem, and leaves. These are the parts which are capable of growing. So this vascular tissue, the xylem and phloem, which are the xylem, perform the role of transporting water and mineral salts to different parts of the plant, and phloem tend to transport this photosynthetic product to the storage area. So they tend to found within all vegetative area of the plant so as to ensure the survival of the plant. Also, member in this plant include the fan. Fan as well, one of the representative member in the kingdom or within the phylum Felicynophyta. That's why you are being asked to draw a diagram of the fanny plant. Now, what are the characteristics of the fan now? First of all, they are vascular, they have the xylem and the phloem. This plant, they tend to have the primitive vascular tissue, meaning that they have the primitive xylem as well as the phloem. Also, the fan, they have leaves called the front, and they have stem and roots found on small leaflets called the pinnae. So, they tend to have the leaf, in which their leaves are called the front. Within their leaves, there is this reproductive structure. So, and this is known as the pinnae, which are connected to the branches connected to rhizome. Rhizome, this is the roots of this ferny plant, and which is a short stem at the basic. And the life cycle of the fern involves the alternation of the generation, as you already see that there's alternation of the life cycle between the sexual and the sexual phase. Also, the sperm swim through the water. Fertilization produces zygotes, which grow into the new plant, which is known as the sporangiophore, which is the maturity form of the ferny plant. So the ferny plant has a spore producing organ called the sporangia. So within the ferny plant, there is a sporangia, and this sporangia is found within the leaf. It is where the spore or sexual cell are released or produced. So and they are found on the other side of the leaves, and sporangia are arranged in a compact group which is known as the sori. Now let us answer our question now. The question Roman A needs you to draw a well-labeled diagram of the ferny plant and label only 4 parts. Here I have labeled more than 1 part. It is 4 parts. There is front, there is the sorry, there is this rhizome as well as the root. The rhizome, this is a modified stem. This is the root for the absorption. This rhizome, this is a modified stem. And these are the leaves, in which within the leaves where there is sporangia. Sporangia, this is the one, it is where the spore are produced. And they arranged in the leaf to form a structure like, which is known as the sori. So within the sori is where this sporangia, where the spore tend to develop in the leaves of this ferny plant. Also, we see that the leaves of the ferny plant are known as the front. So this is the back side, hapa ni kwa nyuma, huku ni kwa mbele, the way zinavyokuwa zinaonekana. So just katachuru za kuachia to this only one structure. Ukalabel this as a front, or within this front kuna kuwepo na sori, hivi kama vinundunundu, ndio kuna kuwepo na this sporangia. Alafu kuna this rhizome as modified stem, alafu kuna roots for the anchorage and absorption. Alafu hapa ni developing fern, ambao tunaziita the fiddle head. So kwa mtu ambaye alichora hivi akalebo, tayari akuwa anapata all the marks in this particular question. The question Roman B needs you to explain the 3 advantages of the ferny plant. The 3 advantages of the ferny plant. Tumeona kwamba the ferny is a herbaceous plant. Ana true root, leaves pamoja na stem. Ana vascular tissues. What now are the advantages of this fern now? Ni kuni, ni mti. So ana faida gani? The first one, many types of the fern are grown as the ornament in homes and offices. In some part of the world, the fiddlehead or some type of the fern is eaten. Tumeona hapa fiddlehead hii hapa. Wasema kwamba it is used as a source of food in some part of the world na be eaten, this fiddlehead. Lakini hii hapa fern vile vile it is used as an ornament kama either maua kama urembo, inapandwa majumbani katika bustani, the way kulingana inavyokuwa inafanana, inakuwa kama kivutio. Na faida nyingine, in Southern Asia are used as a biological fertilizer. Kwa mfano Asia, ife inatumika kama mbolea ambayo inasaidia katika kuweza increase the fertility of the soil. So it used as the biological fertilizer, they able to convert the nitrogen from the air into the compound that can be used by the rice plant. This is due to the ability of converting or fixing the nitrogen to form the nitrate, which can be used by the rice. Vile vile, the fern is a major component of the coal, a fossil fuel which is made up of remains of primitive plants. Kwa hiyo vile inatumika kama source of energy. Na kingine fern serve as a food for various wild animals. Inatumika kama source of food for various wild animals, kwa mfano wanyama wa mwituni. Another question is question number 10 for the year 2019. And the question stated that, explain 6 factors which affected the rate of photosynthesis process in the plant. Explain 60 factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis in process in the plants. My lovely fun two students, before you answer this question, also you have to be familiar on where this question has been derived. This topic has been derived from topic of the nutrition. It is the form 2 topic in that concept of the nutrition in the plant. It's where this question has been derived. So in order to answer it, you are needed to use the concept and knowledge on this topic, on this concept of the nutrition of the plant, is where you can have a large room, a wide room to give a correct response. Now, before we answer the question, now let us familiarize ourselves with what is photosynthesis. Remember that this is an essay question. It's carry a total marks of the 14 marks of the 15 marks, so you are needed to have a deep understanding. Go direct to the point, avoid blah blah. Just this is science, just involve the use of the facts. So make sure that you go direct to the point, you give the required hints and facts so that you can get all the marks. So now let us be familiarized with what is photosynthesis. Before we know what are the factors affecting the photosynthesis, now let us be familiarized ourselves with what is photosynthesis. My lovely form 2 students, in our topic of the nutrition, I have teach here at Educare Media, the nutrition in the nutrition, it is a form 2 topic. In case somebody hujasoma, you're mostly welcome to subscribe it at Educare Media so that you can widen up your understanding. Kuna concept nyingi pale nimeweza kufundisha: the nutrition in plant, the digestive system, the digestion in the ruminant, the food processing and preservation. Zote zipo within the topic of the nutrition. So you are mostly welcome so that you can get a deep understanding. Leo swali imeweza kutoka katika nutrition in plant, you never know. The coming neteza kaja katika food processing. The another one katika digestion. It's one of the very important topic for you to cover and to understand so as you can get a good performance in your Form 2 and your Form 4 examination. So, the photosynthesis in topic of nutrition, you see that there is autotroph and the heterotroph. Autotroph, these are the organisms which are capable of manufacturing their own food. So, example of this organism which are capable of manufacturing their own food are plants or green plant and algae. So this plant or in the green plant and algae, they do able to manufacture their own food using the simple molecule under the presence of the sunlight to produce the complex food substance by the use of the sunlight. And that's why we call it photosynthesis, meaning that there is the use of the sunlight to split this simple inorganic molecule to manufacture the complex inorganic molecule, which can be used for further metabolic activities by the plant, also by the body of this consumer or this heterotroph. So also there is this algae. They tend to manufacture their own food using the chemical, and that's why we call them the chemosynthesis. This all concepts are found within our lovely topic of the nutrition. So the photosynthesis now, this is the process in which green plants manufacture complex food substance from simple inorganic substance such as sunlight, such as water and the carbon dioxide in the presence of the sunlight and the chlorophyll. So this process do take place in the chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll is found within the chloroplast in the mesophyll or the ground tissue of the plant. So this process of photosynthesis occurs in the green part of the plant and mostly in the leaf is where there is this mesophyll where the chlorophyll which contain the chloroplast do found. So what are the requirements of the photosynthesis? Before we consider the factors which are affecting the photosynthesis, now what are the requirements of the photosynthesis? So the requirement of photosynthesis, the raw material for photosynthesis as follows. The first one is water and the carbon dioxide. These are the raw material. And the condition necessary for photosynthesis to take place is chlorophyll and the sunlight. Chlorophyll, this has to maximize the surface area for the absorption of the sunlight, and the sunlight, these are needed for the splitting of this water molecule to form the hydrogen, which will combine with the carbon dioxide in the dark phase to produce the glucose. So the process of the photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis will take place into 2 stages. There is light phase as well as the dark phase. What we talk on the light stage or the light phase, it occurs in the chloroplast. So this light phase occurs in the chloroplast. Within the chloroplast, there is chlorophyll, and this is found in the plant. So the light phase meaning that this occurs in the presence of the sunlight. That's why it occurs in the chloroplast to maximize the surface area for the absorption of the sunlight. So The chlorophyll absorbs the light energy from the sun, and light energy is used to split water molecule to energy and to oxygen and water. So this chlorophyll tends to absorb the sunlight, and this sunlight is used to split down the water molecule to form the oxygen and hydrogen. The process is known as photosynthesis. That's why the splitting of this water molecule by the use of the sunlight, the synthesis, this process of the breaking down this substance. So you use the photon or the light to split this water molecule. As you see in the reaction, water molecule is splitting by the light or sunlight to bring the oxygen and water, where this oxygen is being released by product to be used during the respiration, also for the gaseous exchange by the plant. And oxygen is released to the atmosphere while some are using the respiration, and hydrogen tend to enter into the dark reaction. Now, katika dark reaction, we start with the hydrogen that has been formed by the splitting of the water molecule. So now, it occurs in the stomata and does not need the light. So this dark stage tends to occur within the stomata. It does not need the light. Why? Because within this stage, there's no splitting. There's no need of splitting of any of the raw material here. That's why it's called the dark stage. So the carbon dioxide in this stage tends to combine with the splitted hydrogen or hydrogen that has been formed after the splitting of the water molecule in the presence of water by the use of sunlight to form the sugar, example, the glucose. And this process is called the carbon dioxide fixation. So the reaction of the hydrogen and the carbon dioxide to form the glucose is known as the carbon dioxide fixation. And the process requires energy and the enzyme. This process requires the energy as well as the enzyme. And this is a reaction that's shown how the carbon dioxide fixation will take place. The carbon dioxide reacts with hydrogen to form the glucose and the water. So once you combine the product from the light and the dark phase, you get that the product of photosynthesis is we have three products. You have the glucose, you have the water, and the oxygen that has been produced during the light phase. So the end product of photosynthesis as follows: glucose, oxygen, and the water. The glucose and water has been produced during the dark phase, and oxygen has been released by the splitting of the water molecule using the sunlight to form the hydrogen and oxygen, where the oxygen was being released into the atmosphere for the respiration and other gaseous exchange into the body of these animals. And this hydrogen was combined with the carbon dioxide through carbon dioxide fixation process to form the glucose and water. And the glucose is used in respiration to release an energy, and water used in various chemical reactions within the cell, and some used during the transpiration. Oxygen was used during the respiration. Now, the overall chemical equation for photosynthesis now is this one. There is the raw material, which is the carbon dioxide and water, which in the presence of the sunlight, which take place in the chlorophyll. This is sunlight as a condition for the splitting of this water molecule to produce the hydrogen and oxygen, and this process this occur within the chlorophyll, as within the chloroplast, and to form the glucose and water as well as the oxygen. So now let us shift back to our question after seeing that about the whole process of the photosynthesis. Now let us discuss, or let us back to the question by considering the factors affecting the rate of the photosynthesis process. So the first one, there is this light intensity. Light intensity. In order for photosynthesis to take place, there must be the light. There must be the sunlight, which is needed for splitting of this water molecule to form the hydrogen, which can combine with this carbon dioxide to form the glucose. So the light is needed for photosynthesis to take place, meaning that the low light intensity will affect the rate of the photosynthesis, because you see that this reaction photosynthesis, it is enzyme controlled reaction, so everything is recorded at optimal range. So the low amount of the light can result to the affection of this photosynthesis process. And another factor is carbon dioxide concentration. Carbon dioxide, this is a product or this is a raw material for the photosynthesis to take place. So the excess of the carbon dioxide can be toxic since it can be released as nitrogenous waste or as the excretory product from the plant. So the optimal amount of the carbon dioxide is required to combine with hydrogen, which has been formed by the splitting of the water molecule to form the glucose and water, as well as the oxygen as the byproduct or the product of the photosynthesis. Another factors which might hinder or affect the photosynthesis is the temperature. Since the photosynthesis is the enzyme catalyzing reaction, it requires the optimal range, meaning that the high temperature might result to the denaturation of the enzyme. Also, the low temperature might result to the inactivation of the enzyme. Thus can affect the rate of the photosynthesis from taking place at the required rate. Also, the another one is the water. Water is also one of the raw material required that need to be splitted by the sunlight to release the hydrogen and oxygen. So water also, the water is required. The low amount of water, limited supply of water might hinder the process of the photosynthesis. Another is mineral salts. The mineral salts like phosphorus, the nitrogens, which the potassium, these are the main NPK, the nitrogen, potassium, and the phosphorus. These are the main nutrients which are required by the plant for proper growth so as to perform the photosynthesis. So the limited supply of these nutrients might hinder the process of the photosynthesis. Another and last one is leaf age. The leaves that has kwa mfano ile majani ambayo tayari imekaa ya muda mrefu imezeeka, the rate of photosynthesis tend to take place very slow as compared to this young leaf. So hapa unaangalia the leaf age. The young leaf inakuwa ina high rate of photosynthesis, lakini hapa matured ambayo tayari imeshaenda age senescence tayari inakuwa ina low rate of the photosynthesis. So this tends also to hinder the process of the photosynthesis process in the plant. My lovely Form 2 students, that marks the end of our today's session. Hope that you have enjoyed the lesson. Also, you have understand on the concept of the photosynthesis, on the processes, nivyoelezea the raw material, the product, niweza kuelezea in general katika hii concept ya photosynthesis. My lovely Form 2 students, please stay connected to Edukia Media for following other coming session. Have a nice moment. Thank you.